that's going.
Okay. Let's call to order this regular monthly meeting of the Peabody Public Library Board of Trustees. And you'll note that we do have a quorum. For purposes of that, for purposes of attendance, we will show that Mark Harper and Lori Shipman are both absent, and I'm expecting that we've got four whole members are in attendance. First, we will look at the minutes. Let's first look at the.
Hey, Greg, you got your mic on?
I don't have my mic on. Sorry.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Again, we're calling to order a regular meeting of the Peabody Public Library Board of Trustees for July 2021. We will have a quorum, and members Mark Parker and Lori Shipman are not here today. All other trustees are in attendance. I would draw your attention to the minutes of the regular meeting for June 9, 2021. Ask if there is an opportunity to review those minutes as circulated, and if someone feels comfortable making a motion regarding those.
Chris Beck will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Chris moves to approve the minutes from the regular meeting for June 9, 2021. Is there a second?
Carmen Jagger will second.
Carmen seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the regular meeting minutes for June 9, 2021, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We will then draw your attention to the much less detailed minutes from the executive session, also on June 9th, and I would entertain a motion regarding those.
Chris will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Chris Bechtold also moves to approve the minutes of the executive session of June 9th. Is there a second?
I second the motion, Beth.
And Beth Bloom seconds the motion. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the executive session minutes for June 9th, 2021, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the executive session minutes are approved as well. Looks like just the next thing on the agenda becomes the director's report. Mary?
First, I want to let you know that they did have the ILF meeting yesterday. I have a copy of that report that I'll distribute to you before you leave, and we can discuss it next month. So I want to give you that. The other thing I want to let you know is the elevator died. So it's been out of order for probably 5 days. It was repaired today, and it's functioning properly. So FYI on that. The first thing I need to do is actually find my report, because I was just going to jump right into budget. Budget's the first thing. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the 2022 budget. You should have a copy of it in your packet. I have it as page 41. I don't know if we're numbered the same.
It says 41 at the bottom of the ones I'm looking at, and those appear to be pretty fairly accurate, so I think it's 41 on our copies.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to note that what I did is our personal services actually has gone up quite a bit over last year. What I did was included the salary increase that we will talk about later on, but I wanted to give you an idea of what the budget was going to look like, and also how I ended up getting my figures. I think the very last page shows you how I determined how much our budget should be. I don't know that I need to go through everything one by one, other than to just say personal services jumped, and it's going to be $856,000. As you know, my concern is we rely on both property tax and local income tax to operate this library. We are different than other libraries because of that. Some of them are 75 property, 25 lit. We are closer to 50-50. So I just want you to be aware of that. Our budget for next year is 1.6 million. And we're still around 51% of the budget going to personal services, which I'm really pretty proud of, because that means that we're spending money on our patrons and our, materials for them or electronic resources for them. But I just need you to be aware of that. The other thing I did want to mention, and I'll do it now because I think it's appropriate. We may want to consider having me actually budget any payouts on the rainy day fund. So what that would mean is I would just do another budget. I would deduct the amount if we would do payouts. The payouts could be on, the board would have to determine that we need a 1.32 under personal services, which is other compensation. You guys would have to approve that additional line item, but we could put it under rainy day fund. Those are funds that we've already accumulated over the years that have not been expended. There's a balance of $177,000 in there. My calculations, if we would choose to do a sick payout and then always carry PTO payout, the initial cost would be $132,000. Now the PTO payout, and I don't know how much you want me to get into detail, but the problem is we currently have sick, vacation, and personal days. Sick and personal days do not get paid out. The only thing gets paid out on termination are vacation days. That will change with a PTO policy. So when I budget for sick, vacation, and personal, I just do the calendar year because they can't work any more than 52 weeks a year or 26 pay periods or whatever. So holidays, all of that is included in there. They can transfer 1 week of vacation over to a following year, but that's it. That's all they can do. But if somebody would leave, the person that replaces them would have to be here a year before I would have to pay out their vacation time. So it's never been a concern for me to carry more than just the regular salaries per year. Does that make sense? With PTO, I'm going to have to carry extra to be able to make a payout with PTO. Do you understand? Okay.
Are vacations the only thing to carry over? I just
Sick
noticed
days.
there were lots and lots of banked sick days, and does the PTO conversion get rid of that? I think that's a bad thing to have. Let's pay it off once and never end up in that situation again.
Exactly. So
Okay.
with the PTO policy, what will happen is all of their vacation, no, I apologize, personal and sick time, and then their vacation. So if you're here for 1 year, that's 22 days that you get off. I would take that 22 times their average work day to come up with the PTO hours. I'm not taking anything away. So people are still going to get 22 days, which is the equivalent of a month. So everybody, but we wouldn't have to carry over. And I'll be honest with you, since I've been here, nobody's accessed the banked sick time. So, I don't know. I didn't mean to bring that up here because we have
No,
that,
no.
but I wanted you to think of all of those things. And so what I would do in order to have $132,000, I have to deduct this budget by $132,000 so that I can spend it out of rainy day. And I already know how I can do that. But I wanted to mention that to you. So, do you have any questions of me regarding the budget? I don't know if you had enough time to look through it.
I did have a question.
Okay.
I know we bought furniture and equipment for .11, I think it was $77,000 last year, it's $10,000 this upcoming budget year. I thought we were replacing some more stuff, though. We're not replacing any more furniture.
Well, what I decided to do, So we had money this year,
Mhm.
and I didn't spend that, and I'm glad I didn't, because this is another option for 2021. Instead of taking that money, we could transfer that money into clerical assistance clerical, so that I can go ahead and hire. I'd like to transfer $70,000 into clerical, so it would go from furniture and equipment to assistance clerical, so that I can go ahead and start hiring tomorrow, advertise for 2 clerk positions, 1 adult services professional assistant, and a systems technician. So, just FYI. But you're absolutely right. I wasn't planning on it, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it next year either.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I see why most of the movement is where it is. I guess I had a couple things I was going to check. They're really close to each other on page 44. The electricity budgeted up, is that just because that's been all kind of around all over the place and we're just not sure where it's going to land?
That's exactly right. I'm hoping, although this month, it was not bad, Greg. I wrote it down. Okay, so actually, last June, it was $5,005.53. June for this year, it's $4,099.87. So it did go down. Remember how we were going up and up and up and up. For the year, we're over $1,354.73. Gas is up $9.54. So I went ahead and put cushion in those 2 accounts.
And then I noticed the waste disposal got doubled. Do we expect that to go up? Because
Exactly.
that looks like it's never been more than $2,100.
Right, but I think before the end of the year, I'm going to have to transfer money from another account to cover what we're going to end up having to pay for this year.
Okay, so that year-to-date that shows it under $1,000, that was not in fact the first 6 months of the year's bill.
Well, no, it should, I thought it was more than that.
I've,
And you're probably just looking right at,
page 44, the very bottom.
oh, I switched to the utility thing.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm not with you.
And it's, again, it's not a huge amount, but it did double the budget
Why
amount.
can't I see? Where are you, waste disposal?
Oh, clear down at the bottom of page 44.
Okay, so, well, I might have, I don't know, I can't answer, Chris.
Okay, that's okay. It's
Greg.
not a $10,000 or $20,000 issue, but, and I guess there's not a huge harm in doing that.
I might have looked at the line above for June 2020 amount at 4,000, thinking I was looking at waste disposal and saw electricity.
Anyway. I just thought-
At any rate, if you want me to make that lower, I will.
Even if the rates would go up, I couldn't see it going up
Double?
more.
Do we have the ability to move the surplus if needed?
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, see, so I'm not sure there's harm.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It was just, okay. And again, excuse my ignorance for the paid time off stuff.
That's okay.
But does paid time off, PTO, does that doesn't carry over at the end of the year, correct?
What I'd like to do is just carry 5 days, which is what they have now.
Okay.
And that would be it.
No
They
more
can't,
than 5
they
days.
can't accrue it. It's
Okay.
5 days,
For
that's
every-
it.
Regardless of what it's called, 5 days, and they can carry that over. And they aren't paid for the other unused stuff, or they are?
No,
Okay, it's use it or lose it, except for 5 days. No more than that is a carryover.
correct,
Okay.
correct. And then so what I would do is all the staff members that have obviously worked here for years and years, January 1, if we would start with PTO, and we don't have to decide this today.
Right.
we can talk about it, and I've got till the end of the year to get everything written up and all the, T's crossed and I's dotted, or whatever it is I need to do. At any rate, now I forget my thought. I went off on a tangent about the T's and the I's. Okay, we're talking about PTO. Oh, so they would have so if they have 32 days, I think it's 256 hours or something, I would get my 296 right on January 1, and everybody else would too, because we've already worked here for years and years, and we already done our accrual. The accrual amounts are more for people that are new.
So it'll add up to that amount. So there's a cap.
Right, right.
And then, okay, presumably we would pay out for all the accrued stuff that's been accrued under the form.
Right, less what they already used.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
unused,
right,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, and this isn't the budget hearing tonight, right?
No, this is me presenting this to you because I meet with them, DLGF. Yeah, my workshop's on July 30th, and I needed to show you this before I meet with them, because it's like get it done and show it to them, and they're okay, and then you guys don't have any say in it, so.
Do you need to have a nod from us on paid time off in order to do the budget workshop with State Board of Accounts or DLGF or whoever the heck that is?
No,
Okay.
I mean, just so you know why the numbers are what they are,
Okay.
so,
Any
okay?
other questions for Mary? Nikki, I know you
About
love
the
budget
budget.
stuff. Sarcasm down here.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't. Okay.
All right.
Mary, continue on.
All right,
We don't really need a motion or anything.
Right.
What we have for budget, for folks who aren't familiar with that, she's keeping us familiar with it, but then she has a budget workshop, which it's not so much a workshop, it's sitting down with a member of the State Board of Accounts and basically making sure that the budget makes sense, that it's not out of line in any way. We then have a public budget hearing, and we then have an adoption.
correct,
budget
and those will
adoption.
be in September and October.
Way later than that, so that's the way that process goes. It has never made much sense to me.
So,
Anyway,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Job classification and compensation study. Everybody should have gotten a copy of that. And I think I indicated that we may as well just start in the middle, and that was a suggestion. I think they suggested low or middle, and I thought, why start low, and let's start in the middle, at least we know that we'll keep people. And then I did send an email to WIS and said, what about my people that have been here for a long time? How do you propose that we handle this? And in her email, she suggested starting at 10 years and then add 2% for 10, 4% for 15, and so on. And I think I have that in a graph on your paper. And then I shared with you how we could go ahead and approve. I would like to approve the higher wage so that I can go ahead and put something out so we can get applicants in, so we can fill all these open positions that we have. So, and I think I explained in there that we have the money in personal services, but, and that would be just for the raise part of it, and we have a little left over, and that's why I want to move an additional $70,000 from furniture and equipment into assistance clerical so that I can go ahead and start hiring people too.
And the gist of this that I got was that what we are going to shoot for is the midpoint for all private and public employers sort of statewide, as opposed to just what other libraries in Northeast Indiana is paying.
That is my understanding. When I read the report, it looked like it was not just libraries, it was a lot of other types of organizations. And I was extremely surprised that we were as low. I mean, I knew we were low. I was thinking it might be 12 or 13. I didn't know it was going to be 14.45. So, eye-opener.
Other questions regarding job classification study? Chris, come on in.
I have a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure I get.
I know there's no motion on the floor, but we've never
No.
done that, so.
On No, that's the payout. Never mind. So, are we moving everyone to the external midpoint if they raise or the bonus or the bump moves them higher than that? We're moving them higher than.
That would be correct, but that is how I did it. I started everybody at the midpoint, and then those with accrued time, starting at 10 years, got an additional. And that only seemed fair because Kathy Harrison has been here for over 30 years, and if I wouldn't have done that, her wage, her starting salary would be the same as somebody who just walked in off the street. And that felt like a disparity to me, and I felt like I had to somehow recognize those people that have been with us for a long, long time. And I know I have gone back and forth, so I've given you information and I was thinking one way, and then after I thought about it longer, I'm like, I don't know, I think I need to do something different here, so.
Well, the reason why I was asking is mostly for positions like that that have been here for a while, but the classification is a little lower. When we move everybody to the external midpoint, they would have been at the same rate anyway. So with that, that's why the 10% or that's
Right.
an additional piece.
Yes.
Okay.
Were you guys surprised, or did you suspect it was going to be
I honestly didn't have a preconception too much.
okay?
So there is great competition for things. As a person who runs a business, I know that if we're competing with the same people, for instance, the county is paying very well and has extraordinary benefits.
Mm-hmm.
That as private employers, it's hard to match some of those things. So you try to do things with flexibility and whatnot to try to compensate. But yeah, and frankly, that's why I said public and private, because I think there was a big movement years ago. People were saying, "Oh, we're doing all this stuff for the government, and they make so much more in private industry." Well, I think there are other reasons you may make more in private industry. I don't get into all my thoughts, but I know the county has done several classifications where they moved people up in big strides. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then that breeds, of course, a new midpoint for everybody else. I mean, I think there's a little bit of inflation that builds
Right.
into that too, because now when we do this, the midpoint's going to move, everybody then participating, it all moves up. And I can't say that I was horribly surprised.
The other thing too is they recommended we go back to their classification system. I had gone to grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because that's what I had seen other libraries do. But I think I'll just do as the attorney suggests and change that. And I need to let you know that that does change things for some of the staff. So I used to put Darla under professional assistance, but she actually would be under clerical. She's the circulation manager. However, she does not have higher education, where all the Pats got some higher education. I believe one of the other people, the lead circulation clerk, she bumps up to the same level as professional assistants, although she is not required to get a certification. So I just want you to be aware that there are some internal changes for, it wasn't like a straight linear from grade to their classification system. People are actually moving. So I wanted you to be aware of that.
Would this also then change in the future while you're hiring for some of those positions, when you're thinking about qualifications, if it was somebody coming in from the outside?
I actually am using they gave me updated job descriptions. I don't know if this is answering your question, and yes, I'm looking at that. I'm making sure that when I have an applicant out, that I let them know that, hey, you need an associate's degree or at least 15, semester credits of computer technology or whatever it is. So I am. Do you have another question, Chris?
Well, it is a $110,000 difference or thereabouts from
Right.
where we were to what we need to be competitive.
And that's annual
That's-
payroll
yeah.
as of now.
Correct.
That was just what I was just checking.
There should be a document that I sent to you that actually shows current 2021, the total bill for personal services and their salaries. And then right next to it, it should have the 2022. It's page 61. It says salary FICA perf increases for 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, and I take that back. That shows you what the expected cost. I was trying to show you how I was going to pay for this. So it shows you the expected pay period, 16 pay periods, they'd be paid at their current rate. The next 10 pay periods, so 16 plus 10 equal to 26 for the year, you see what the increase is. And then how much I had budgeted and how much I have left over. And you got to remember, we only have 10 pay periods, so it's not like it's going to be that whole 100. It would be,
Right.
yeah, okay.
Other questions? Mary, you apparently would like us to try to take action on this tonight.
I would very much like you to do that, and I went ahead, Greg, and I did, it's kind of written like a resolution like you guys have signed in the past. They're generally signed in December for the following year. What this lists is, it says resolution to approve the amended organization compensation plan July 2021. And it talks about the code, and then I say they want to adopt the organization plan 2021, which includes recommended salary increases and updated job classifications from the Job Classification and Compensation Study Summary Report from Wagner, Irwin, Shaley and Associates, Inc., Management and Consulting Services. Then I list the job classifications of PAT, Comet, and LTC. Then I list the job categories and the pays. And then I have included the certification levels, because we still need those, certification and certification levels. And then I have the actual compensation, which you guys have in your board packet. And then on the last page is where you would sign. So adopted this 14th day of July 2021. And would you like me to pass this around for everyone to look at, or Greg, do you just want to look at it? Or?
Well, I don't, I mean.
Yes, I would very
You
much
just
like
read
you
it
to
into the
approve the
record.
pay
Yeah,
increase.
you just read it into the record, so I guess at that
So-
point, it becomes a situation of, does a trustee feel comfortable moving to adopt the resolution that was just read?
Right. And then also, I need to, like Greg, if you, or Chris, if you have, why do I keep doing that? Anyways, Chris, if you have any questions, any more questions, because I know you said you had a lot of them.
Well, it was more on moving forward with new hires, and that would be the midpoint, would be where we were going to be starting from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we do not have anything in board policy where we have scheduled increases in pay. Usually we talked about that before. It's 2% if we can find it in the budget, which is why I was concerned when some of the people were getting a 10% raise. That's what, but it has to be to make that work.
Correct. And what happened this year is this is the raise. They're not going to get another raise until next December.
Right.
I mean, December of 2022. Does
So-
that make sense? And then what I also would kind of like to do is make those merit evaluations. So then we can do, you get a 4, you get 4%, 3%. I mean, and this is me just saying this is what I'm thinking. It's not anything written in stone. But I'm leaning towards that. Because we've only ever just given 2% or 1% or 4% or.
Well, and I guess the other thing I noticed is by going to the midpoint. And this calls back to what you and I discussed earlier. I think the midpoint is probably a little higher than the midpoint in Whatcom County
Okay.
because of cost of living differences, say here versus Indianapolis. If we're comparing with, with more metropolitan areas, even within the state, our cost of living, our gas is, it's less. I'm not opposed to it for that reason. I think it will make us very competitive when you go to hire, and I know that we've had a hard time hiring folks.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with that, but I think that that's fine for the raise this year, and that should put us definitely in the hunt in terms of compensation.
Now, if there is another way that you want me to handle it, I will. If you'd rather I started at the low point, but my concern with starting at the low point is the attractiveness of the position.
Well, and like you had said, if when we reclassify the positions, that would in fact mean some people might have to take a pay cut to do that, and that would not be acceptable to do, so, yeah.
Okay.
Would you like the motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve the job classification and compensation
Plan.
plan.
Mhm.
Okay, it's been so moved. Is there a second?
Nikki will second.
Nikki seconds. I'm sorry, that motion was by Chris Bechtold. Nikki seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of adopting the resolution to adopt the new job classifications recommended and the implementation plan recommended by the director, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And did you actually fixed a written one, so you need some signatures?
I fixed it, and you guys can sign under I, and then Beth, there's a signature for you too, so you'll sign in two places.
Mary, please continue.
All right. Okay, library business hours. So I'm kind of changing my mind on this one, and I'll tell you why. I still think I think we need to be closed on Sunday, and that's me saying this. But the other thing is, this is what I'm proposing, mostly because you're gonna transfer money so that I can go ahead and start trying to hire some people this year. The problem mostly on the weekends is Saturday, because on Saturday, we're open from 9 to 5. We only have 4 people in the building. They are allowed to take 20-minute lunch on the clock. But if you can imagine, so when they're down here, there's 3 people up there. As long as we're not busy, it's fine. If we get busy, it's not, 3 people, and it's a big building. So if I'm able to get people in here, I'm hoping to have that up to 5. And if I have 5 people in the building, I had thought first, let's just be open 1 to 5 on Saturday, but if I can get 5 people in the building, I feel more comfortable with that. So that if somebody's taking a 20-minute lunch, I always have 4 people up there. Does that make sense? And we do have the new camera system, and so we're not very busy on Saturdays. I've had to work a couple of Saturdays. The only activity is in the morning. People come in and get books and that kind of thing. But the afternoon, it's just the use of the meeting rooms. And I wanted you to be aware of that. But I did not want to just be open 9 to 1 on Saturdays, because then people can't use the meeting rooms like they do. So that's the hardest decision on this. Is we have all these meeting rooms and we aren't open on Sunday. That's just one less day. However, if we're open 9 to 6 on Monday and Friday like we are now, and 9 to 8 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 to 5 on Saturday, as long as I can get those other people hired, and we close on Sunday, we'll go from 63 to 59 hours. But that's closing Sunday. And I do need to hear what you have to say, and you need to be really honest with me.
Well, I guess I'll start. I guess, okay, now you just said Saturdays don't tend to be that busy, but that you feel we should have Saturday open for the rooms because a few years ago, we said the rooms could only be used when the library was open. So we've got things that sort of cascade. That is my concern on Sunday. I think we are gutting most of our public use of all of this nice space we've built if we're not going to be open on Sundays, because that means nobody can ever use any of these rooms for any family events, gatherings, graduation parties on a Sunday, and they're all going to be on Saturday, or we're going to try to force them, I guess, after working hours, but before 7 o'clock during the week.
Well, that's
And
why.
I thought we were busy on Sundays. I thought, maybe I misunderstood that, but I thought.
We are, Greg,
Yeah.
but I have to give our staff a day off. I feel it is necessary, and it will make it more attractive for people to work here if they have at least one day off on the weekend. And this is me doing a total 360, because when I started and I saw how busy we were, but how else do I do it?
Monday?
You want to be closed on a Monday?
Again, when are most 9 to 5 people in a position to go to the library or to have a graduation party or a family reunion? Those are on the weekends. Those are not at 10 o'clock a.m. on a Monday morning or at 11 o'clock a.m. on a Monday morning.
Right.
And again, I'm just randomly thinking, but I'm thinking, I guess I would have much less problem closing early on Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday or a half day, a couple of those days. And if it's a situation where we want to give staff a whole day off, why not do it on a day that we might not be as busy if we are busy on a Sunday? And Sunday is when the demand is going to be for the community rooms.
Because the argument is every other public library, other than the big ones, are closed on Sunday.
Well, but we're paying more than every other library in the area too now, right?
I agree with that, but at the same time,
The library exists for the public,
I agree with
not
that.
for the convenience of the employees. And we're trying to be very fair to staff. But isn't that the basic concept?
You're correct, but I'm telling you,
Nobody wants to work
for
on
example,
Sunday.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and so even trying to trade off Saturday, even though Saturday doesn't have that many, is.
Well, I had proposed that, so I even had
I saw there
Elizabeth
was a Facebook
contact.
group, but
Yeah.
I don't think of that as scientific, and that could have been family members and
I
friends.
totally understand, but I wanted to find out something.
Do we, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
No, go ahead.
I want to hear from somebody other than me.
Do we have numbers for rentals on Sunday? I know 2020 wasn't a good year, but probably before that.
Yeah, now I can tell you, like right now, we have 4, because I wanted to see. So if we would do this and not open up on Sundays, we do have 4 people or 4 reservations for Sunday afternoon, 1 in September, 2 in October, and 1 in December. People have a tendency to use Saturday, but they do use Sunday. I don't know what to tell you. I'll be honest with you,
Saturday is
Greg.
the big community room day then, not Sunday.
I haven't worked a Sunday for a while.
Okay,
I
that's
can
fair.
just tell you for the 2 Saturdays that I worked, we were busy in the morning, very slow in the afternoon. Now, one of the days was the day before a holiday, so that might have played into it too. And also, we're still recovering from the whole COVID thing and people not coming in at all. I don't know how to answer your question other than I know the staff would like to be off on Sunday. I know that. Because I thought Saturday would be a great idea, because then you could actually take Friday off and have Friday, Saturday off, only work Sunday, Sunday'd start your day.
Well, and
You
we've
know.
got several evergreen libraries within driving distance that are open on Saturday. If somebody wants to go to a library on Saturday, but none on
Correct.
Sunday.
Except for, as I said, the survey that you don't want to use, that Elizabeth did, was the opposite. I was very surprised. 18% said Sunday, The other were for Saturday, being open 1 to 5.
So is the schedule that's being proposed the one that is at the top of page?
It's changed because I changed my mind
Okay, on
because I
Saturday?
decided I wanted to hire people.
Okay, so, and that changed what, just Saturday?
So with the 9 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 to 8, Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sundays off. And we don't have to decide this tonight. We do have to decide it before the end of the summer because we normally open up after Labor Day on Sundays. So I'm basically keeping the hours the same except for closing on Sunday.
Those 4 reservations that you had, September, October, are those for Saturday or Sunday?
Those are for Sunday. I didn't have, because I wasn't planning on closing on Saturday, I didn't have Linda look up for Saturday.
Well, we could accommodate those reservations by you coming in or somebody coming in.
If you're gonna make me do
No,
that,
you don't have, what would the suggestion be to just cancel them then? How do we handle those?
cancel and refund the money, but,
And so
Greg,
this
I'll be
money-
honest, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I always put the library first. I have always done that, even not accepting raises, coming in on days. I'm extremely tired. I don't love my job anymore. And I'm sorry, but I can't give you any more than I already have. It's probably a bad thing to say in a public
No,
meeting, but it's the
I
truth.
understand. It's, and the first of those reservations is in September, you said?
Yes.
This is the
Now,
vote.
unless you can come up, I mean, this is going to take money. I did think, what if we try to figure a way that we can close off the staircase? If you remember, we had vandalism done to the building, and that's why we went to only open hours. I mean, if there's a way that we can, I don't have an answer, but if you guys can come up with a way that we can have people use our facility without me having to require staff to be in here, although I don't know that the insurance company will appreciate that. I don't know. If there's another way we can do it, because it is a beautiful building, and I'm certain that you guys got the meeting rooms for the intent of people using them. And you're right, they're used on the weekend. I can't argue that.
We're only suggesting that this schedule is going to be in place while we're understaffed.
No, I had, no. Yes, at first I thought that, but I can't keep going back and forth. Guys, we can't keep changing hours, you know, so that's why I thought if I go ahead and hire more people, once we have the new salary increase, and I get those people in here, then we can be open on Saturdays from 9 to 5. The Sunday thing is because I know the staff want to be off on Sunday, and because we only have to be open on one weekend day to meet standards, I'm trying to make everybody as happy as possible. And the Facebook survey was me trying to at least get some feedback from the public. I mean, Greg, you're absolutely right. It could be totally skewed.
Well, and I didn't
but
know
at
whether
least it's
5
something.
people responded, or 50, or 500.
I think she has it written on there.
Well, another thing is, it would also be relevant how full the rental is on Saturday, because if there's room to move those Sunday people to Saturday, and they're willing to do that.
I can check, but I mean, we can offer that. We have to look. My feeling is they wanted Sunday for Sunday, or they would have,
Yeah, but that's because it was a choice.
right. So, I understand. I don't want to make people mad either, and we had, the whole COVID thing was a nightmare, so. Oh, I guess I don't have it on there. In the
No,
email
it's-
she sent to me,
No.
it was like 121 and 18. 121 to be closed on Sunday, 18 to be closed on
I
Saturday.
give all the credibility in the world to your reading of what the employees want and what's necessary for morale. A Facebook survey under those circumstances, I can see zero.
I understand.
That is one of those things, I had no idea it was there. Chris, did you know that was a Facebook survey? Anybody else? No. Who knew? The employees and their families.
No, they didn't. I didn't tell them. All I did was ask Elizabeth to post it
Okay,
on social media. I
Okay.
didn't tell the staff.
okay. And Elizabeth's on the staff?
Elizabeth Kronwitter is actually, she used to work for us, but she
Oh,
isn't
okay.
anymore.
Contract.
She does marketing.
I still have very little faith in those numbers.
And you know what? We don't have to change this right now.
Well, I think we do if we've got somebody scheduled to use these rooms in 60 days, and they're gonna have to reschedule. I think as a matter of common courtesy, if we are gonna cancel somebody's scheduled use of this for a family reunion 2 months out, that they had scheduled 3 months or 4 months ago, I think we need to make a decision on that.
Okay.
Or implement it much later. Do you really want to, I mean, I don't know if you or someone who's going to be making the calls if we do this, but somebody.
Linda. And then if they're really mad, I get them.
Hmm?
It's Linda.
Okay. And do they want to call with a month's notice and say, oh, by the way, that event that you had planned in our Saturday room, we can't do that anymore. We're going to refund your money. Good luck in finding a place in a month. And I hope you didn't send out written invitations. So,
I just wonder in that case if it's not, we've already booked them. Can they quote grandfather in to the old, if we do in fact close on Sundays and just, on those 4 days, we'll need staff.
Yeah,
Just-
that's
just
me,
for them.
And that's why I told Ray, please don't be.
well, okay. Could we also make the new hours effective as of January 1st of next year? What is the import of getting them changed right now?
Well, I just wanted you to be aware, because when I originally did this, I wasn't going to be able, I didn't think of a way that I could pay to get extra people in the building. So I was going to have to work with what I currently have.
That's right, okay.
Okay, I'm definitely hearing from Greg, he wants us open on Sunday. Chris?
Well, what
I would like to hear from everybody.
No, for me, I didn't think they would both occur. If we went with a new salary schedule, I thought that was going to be with the hours that we were normally running with, see how that worked, see what people we could get in, new hires coming in, who would know you would need to probably work on Sundays and those things. Being a competitive rate, I didn't know they were both going at the same time.
Okay. Do you care one way or the other? And you can tell me that,
Well, I see what Greg is talking about. I think we owe it to those people that have already made the reservation. But I understand that you are open an incredible amount of hours, and that's draining. That's draining on the staff, that's draining on you. And we probably need to make some changes, maybe starting in January. But I do understand the full reservation thing.
okay.
How many additional people do you need when there is something going on in the community?
We just deal with 5. If we have 5, that's it. But right now, we've got 4.
By the way, I'm not necessarily opposed to this. I just wanted to hear some justifications for it. And you are correct. I think the community, the problem I think we got into is that we linked access to the community rooms to the library hours. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a thing I want to back. Chris was on the board when we did that. It was a big deal, and we had some good reasons to do that because there was some abuses and things that were going on at that time. I'm not necessarily opposed to this. I just really wanted to hear the reasons.
Okay.
And it sounds like you have prepared to try try to back things out and offer some accommodations to folks that, at least a refund to folks. So, but if you can't hire people, and you used to be a fierce advocate of the Sunday
I
hours
was
as well.
a
I
fierce
realize
advocate.
that.
I was under the impression that we needed to be more competitive to help compensate for those Sunday hours and those hours that we were asking people to work. That's what I thought if we did the one, then the other one.
Well,
That's what I was
but like I said, my original intent was I didn't think of where I could pull money from so that we could get the new people in this year. I was trying to get us through the rest of the year with the current staff I have. And I've got people working 2 nights, I'm working nights, and people are filling in where they can, but we can't keep doing this. It's not sustainable, and everybody's worn out. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely, you're fine.
I will say, as a community member, we can hardly go out to eat anywhere in this town anyway on Sunday, so it's not like the library being closed will be a surprise once we get used to it. I thought we used to, just as a patron, I thought the library was closed on Sundays during the school year.
During summer.
Or during summer.
Yeah.
And I know I adjust to that. And come during other hours.
Okay, and we don't have to change it,
Well,
but I'm just telling you.
I also think
Tough.
people are very understanding right now of the total lack of people in job markets. There's just a shortage everywhere.
Exactly.
Well, if I had to choose between the library staff and being open on Sundays, I would choose the library staff, if that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So,
is that a motion?
that's a great question.
We can keep this open and talk, and as a matter of fact, I actually have 2 meetings scheduled tomorrow morning. After this meeting, I thought I need to talk to the staff and let them know what's going on. So I have a meeting tomorrow at 8 and one at 4, and I can get feedback from them.
We don't
So-
put you or Linda in a worse spot than by tabling this for a month to think about it.
No, because I'm going to go with the suggestion I think that Chris made, that we just keep these hours. My only request is, well, we go back to regular hours in the fall, we go back to regular hours in the fall, and if I have my 4 more people, we should be okay.
And that was what I was hoping we were trying to alleviate with the new salary schedule. That's what I was.
Okay.
What about the Saturday, keeping that at 1:05 like it says here, instead of bumping it to?
Well, it's currently 9 to 5, and I was going to go down to 1 to 5, mostly because and that was with the original staff that we have now. So we have 15 people on staff now. And I'm hoping that hiring more people will get up to, no, we have 16. I want to get up to 20.
You want to keep it open on Saturday from 9 to 5?
We're doing it right now. And the reason I like doing that is in that way I can give full-time people a day off during the week. Because otherwise, they have to work 12 days in a row. Another reason to have Sunday off. Because they have to work and it's not like that's a big hardship, working a 4-hour day. It's just the fact that you have to work 12 days in a row. And they do, so.
I don't want to completely lose this. I'd like to table it.
Well,
And
what
think about it. You've almost got me won over on this whole Sunday thing. Because I'm trying to look in my mind, trying to search in my own head. I'm like, now, Greg, how many times have you been to the library on Sunday? Here on Saturdays, I know I've been here on Saturdays before. I don't know how many times I personally have been here on Sunday. And I like the community rooms opened up, but you're right. Things can adjust, especially if we are going 9 to 5 on Saturday. That does open up several couple-hour blocks. on Saturday.
Well, we do have a group that comes in usually, well, not every Saturday morning, but somebody that does use us on Saturday mornings, I'd say once a month, so.
Chris?
Could we ask that the people provide security for the building if they're going to be in, that we could look into? Have to hire police officers for so many hours that they're here?
I mean, I'm open to look at that. I know that that's going to be,
No, it's costly, I
it's
understand that.
costly. And I think the reason that we're so attractive is because our rates are so reasonable. So I think, and we don't set up for them. So I think if we're going to be charging them probably $80 for security, that's probably low. Plus the room reservation, and we don't set up for them, I think they're going to be, will be as competitive as if they went to, what is it, Eagle Glen or
Mhm.
whatever.
Eagle's Nest.
Eagle's Nest, yeah.
I don't know what the rates are.
That's what I was just,
And
This
Van
is an
Buren
option.
and all those
Yeah.
others. But I mean, you know, the one thing, I know at one point you guys did allow people to have sets of keys, and they came in and came and went. We would have people here till 2 in the morning with their parties or whatever, and that was a drain on us electricity-wise, and so I know we changed things.
we did change, yeah, especially after the vandalism issue that
Mhm.
we had, yes.
Yeah.
Should we put a hold on Sundays for now?
Well, I'm not really, I guess I would rather tell the staff that we're not going to change hours this year. We're hoping to get new people in, that we will be open on Sundays. And then, you know, we can discuss it again.
I don't want to kick the can that far down the road. Let's
Okay.
table it at least until the next meeting.
Till August?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to have full board here too.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Mary, you are, I know how passionate you are, I know how passionate you were, and proud about having those Sunday hours. And if that's something where you have come around on that, that's persuasive. That is persuasive to me.
This year was tough.
I'm trying to work from that position back to get to where you are. And so I may be there by the next time. And it strikes me that the holidays are probably, it would probably dovetail off of this because you were right.
Right, so we don't have to talk about the holiday thing.
Right, so if we could table both of those, and I'd like those back on the agenda for August.
Okay.
I don't want to kick it down the road. It's just we're almost at an hour, and I'm not sure that we're halfway through.
I know, I apologize.
No, do not apologize. We needed to have,
That's
we
good.
need to have that discussion. And we may need to have it more. And as I said, I think you've given me some new information, some things to think about. And I don't want anything I said to be misinterpreted as not valuing the staff. But as a trustee, I see my primary duty to the taxpayer.
It's to the taxpayer, and I understand. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I wish other libraries were open on Sunday. You know, it's really hard when it's Napanee and us and Allen County, and it's not even all of Allen County, it's just the main branch. So,
But, okay, let's go.
okay, and I'll do warp speed. So the next thing, as much as I can.
Oh, you're fine.
I am so torn because of the sick benefit payout. I'll be honest with you guys, this is like the third time we've discussed going from sick, or fourth time, sick, personal vacation to PTO. I just would like to just do it, you know? People like PTO. They just like taking paid time off. They don't have to be sick. I have Darla and Christy Whitten, who have very ill parents, that PTO would be helpful. So there's that. So as you see, we have a lot of people that work here for a long time that have banked all their hours. And I'll be honest with you, I'm 64 years old and we've already had back surgery, and I kind of like the idea of having those hours available to me so I am secure if I would need to be off for 2 months. I like that. At the same time, like I said, nobody's accessed their sick hours since I've been here, and I've been here 10 years. It'll be 10 years in December that I've been here. So I don't know how useful it is to the staff. At the same time, they've been here. They haven't used their sick time. They've accrued all that time. It seems, it's me coming around on this one too, and I thought, why don't we just go ahead and pay them out for their sick time? It would be with the current rate they're making now. We would have to do it January 1st of 2022. If we use the money from the rainy day account. I wouldn't have outlays because we're using that for salaries, but that's where I am with this. And then to go to paid time off starting January 1 of 2022. And it's a very generous package.
Well, and maybe that's part of the reason all of these things are hitting me at the same time as a trustee who's trying to watch the budget and worry about that, is that we're paying out, I don't want to say bonuses, but paying out for that accrued time, raising salaries almost across the board, some pretty substantially.
Yes.
And cutting hours so that we are only open 6 days a week, and these are all big chunks. Is there a generalized morale problem with the staff as well?
I'll give you an example. Somebody went on vacation. And even though we have summer help, the summer help person needed to have the day off yesterday. So, and somebody called in sick. So Mary Graver was the only person in her department. This happens almost every day. It's life, it's the way it is. But then you have to pull other people from other departments and try to figure out how we're going to get lunches out. She's got programming, she's got, it's unfortunate the person got sick on the same day that somebody else went on vacation, but like I said, that's just the way life happens. It so happens a part-time person that was had to have that day off for whatever reason. So you're trying to accommodate everybody. In the meantime, we don't have enough bodies in the building to cover what we need to cover. I would say, in answer to your question, we're tired. We need help.
Okay, so it is attracting more staff.
Yes.
How understaffed are we now? Is it 2 full-time or?
We are down. In our heyday, we had 22. We now have 16.
Okay.
That's a lot of hours.
Part-time and full-time.
Right, but I wasn't concerned about it for a while or for a year or better because we were COVID. We weren't busy, and now we're getting busy. And then you've got to remember, I'm people taking time off and calling in sick. That's the hardest part. So,
who all was and I don't mean to. Who all sat on this committee? Was it Mark? Was Mark, you and Mark? Okay. I'd like to hear from
of course,
board members that you work with on this.
My understanding, it's not just about morale, but also so that you don't have to try to process these hours after they're frozen and do this ongoing, long-term
yeah,
management of those.
correct.
So by doing a payout, which I do support, those are done. Now you're starting everybody over with the PTO. Everybody starts in January, same hours, easier management, one policy.
Correct.
As far as the payout.
Are the sick days just hard on you because you're the one balancing this at the end of the day? Or is it hard on the staff as well?
What's hard is the sick time were always intended for staff only. They were never intended for their families. Okay, with paid time off, you take time off if you need to go take your mother to the hospital or you know what I mean? It gives them more flexibility to use the time that helps them live their lives the way they need to. And I have 2 people right now who are in those situations, and one of them had to cut her hours by 10 so that she could take care of her elderly parents. I'm trying to hang on to I have really good people on, and we have a really great team, and I want to keep these people.
And
Yeah,
also,
I disagree. I just don't. I just don't understand how changing this will help, if that makes sense. I can't wrap my head around it. It's not a you problem, it's a me problem. So,
Okay, so right now, we had talked about doing frozen time, so they can't keep their sick time. If we go to PTO and they're gonna get their sick time as PTO, there's no reason to keep that sick time.
So-
Except for the people that have been here forever and save those so that they have it in case they have a catastrophic illness.
so right now they don't have any paid time off, they just accrue sick hours or personal time, and they can just use their personal time whenever. So this is technically already their PTO.
No, no, we have sick time, personal time, and vacation time.
Okay.
Instead of having those three, we just lump it into one.
And you would only carry over 5
5
days
days.
maximum every year,
Correct.
and those would not accrue beyond
5 days.
Okay.
Right, so we wouldn't have this stockpile of unused sick time,
Okay.
okay?
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a policy that we have at my place of work, and I really enjoy it because that really encourages people to take a mental health break,
Yes.
at the very least.
And you don't have to have an excuse for it.
Right,
Because it's
your
all
time.
lumped time.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, this is a great advantage to the employees, I mean, really to the staff, because we got paid $19 a day over 70 for our day, sick days that we built up. I mean, that was what we were worth, was $19 a day, so, and you're paying them out at their current rate, that's
Right.
amazing. Yeah?
I mean, I know it's expensive.
$5?
Yeah, but
You know-
my thought is, on this I am in, because we need, well, we at some time need, yeah, we're gonna have to cut off a finger here, but we're gonna have to do it
Right.
at some point. And I remember another small governmental agency I was with one time, and somebody retired, but they said it's not effective, my retirement isn't effective for 3 months. And they went home, they had 3 months of accrued time. Now, this was sick time, you could not necessarily maybe do that unless you had a catastrophic, but it was accrued time, and they just sat it out. They were on insurance, they were on payroll for another 3 months, and it just sat. So I am very much one for limit the rollover, use it or lose it.
Mhm.
When you pay out, yes, pay out a week, or if somebody, leaves, pay out a week. Don't put yourself in a position where you owe somebody that much time. That doesn't make sense, except perhaps for a catastrophic illness. But nobody else does that anymore.
Mhm.
It's all paid time off. And you have to compensate those folks who relied on banking that stuff to do it. And I don't know how else to do it other than paying it out.
My question was,
Yeah.
when you were talking about the current time, because you weren't making that rate as you were making those days or hours and accumulating them, and then you're paying them out at the current rate. My question would be, do you use the same salary schedule that we had, or do we just want to use the new, or just what is here, or do we want to use the median, whatever? No?
I want to
Okay.
use their current rate because that's the number, they've worked at that current rate longest this year.
But isn't their current rate now adjusted to this?
Okay, clarify before this meeting, the rate they were making before you
Okay,
passed.
and that's a significant difference.
Yeah, that's what
No, I don't think we need to pay them the new rate. I think it's perfect, because we never were gonna pay out the sick time anyways.
No, I understand that, but it was just.
Well, no,
current.
but I know that the staff might ask me that, but I'm gonna say, you never were gonna get paid out anyways. So now we're offering you at the salary you made on July 13th, that's what you'll get paid out, but it will not be paid out because of the money until January 1st of 2022, which works out fine because that's when the new PTO policy would start.
Can they use any of these days before that?
Sure. So those numbers may go down.
Okay.
And they probably will, because when I did that, it might have been a couple weeks ago, and I've already had people that have had to take sick time. So it would just be the sick time that they have available to them.
So do you want a motion?
Yes, I have two more quick questions, and I promise they will be quick. Number one is pages 62 and 63. Those are the pages that you would put in the employee manual, policy manual, correct? Basically?
Yes, I do have to make some corrections, but yes, one of them is how much they accrue. That would be for new people.
Okay.
Yes.
My question was on the grades 1 through 7, because don't we have to go back to the,
Yes, I have updated it with comment and all of that, but that's what I'm saying. We don't necessarily, if you want to approve the sick payout, I'm fine with that, but we really don't need to do the PTO policy today.
Okay.
We have until the end of the year to actually pass this. But I want to be able to say to the staff, we are looking towards going at PTO. At this time, this is what it'll look like. Because then I'll get feedback from them, and I'll bring it back to,
Right.
So,
So
yeah.
anybody who leaves their position before January will not be paid out all that time.
I think that sounds reasonable. I hadn't thought about that, but no, they wouldn't have to. Yeah,
Because the policy wouldn't start until then, and they'll just get their normal payout.
right. They would just get vacation because we're doing sick vacation. Yeah.
So did you want either one of those, were you preferring that either one of those get adopted tonight? Or-
They don't have to be, but it would be nice if I could tell the staff tomorrow, we're definitely looking at doing a sick time payout because I think that will make it more palatable.
full complement of?
Well, I don't know, Chris. I mean, the sick time, at a certain level, it makes sense to adopt the sick time payout tonight so we can say that's why you get that wage, is
Right.
because that was the wage when we adopted that. But the only thing that concerns me is if we do the payout without the conversion. Now, I guess technically, if we do the payout, there is nothing to convert how much accrues between now and January 1st. Not really anything, right? Okay, so we could do the sick time, basically have that track with the upgraded salary schedule, so we could say, no, that was all done as a parcel, or as a together. Does that make, I guess that's what I was thinking.
Do you need two separate motions? One to move the funds and then to approve this?
Well,
So
I
would you
have-
rather approve the funds first? and then
Do I have the funds on here anywhere? I don't
You say
even
that
have
it goes from 411 to, I think it was 132?
Yeah.
Do we have to transfer those funds?
I have it right here. I have the transfer resolution right here.
So do we want to transfer the funds first and then approve this, or approve it and then transfer the funds? or
But
do
those
it?
funds, the funds that we're transferring are not for the payout anymore. Remember, I changed my mind. I decided I need to actually move the money to pay the additional salaries for the 4 new people I want to
Okay.
hire. That's what this is for.
Okay, so we still need to approve that because that was for the new salary.
Right, but I don't know why I didn't do it back then. I just didn't.
That's okay.
Okay.
Chris, I would entertain a motion to transfer those funds to pay for the salary schedule that we've already approved.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Nikki seconds, Chris moves. Any discussion about moving money to pay for the salary update and conversion that we've already approved? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that is approved. Then-
Okay.
then-
New question
Yes.
then would be, where does that $64,000 come from?
Is that the furniture?
Right.
Okay, so
That was
what I want to do, and I might have mentioned this earlier.
You probably-
What you guys need to do, what the board will need to do if you agree to this, is
Oh, that's reading.
I want to add another line item to personal services. It's 1.32, other compensation. I would actually put that in the rainy day and budget the rainy day.
Instead of the 411 furniture?
Correct. So we have $177,000 in rainy day. According to my calculations, the sick payout plus the potential payout for PTO, because they accrue it, whatever they have left over, they get paid. I don't know how that's going to affect our budget, but I could just go ahead and just add everybody's hours and come up with a number. That's $132,000 but I would pay for it using our rainy day fund, which is money we've already not spent. Those are tax dollars we have not spent in previous years.
And there are no restrictions on that?
As long as I budget that we're going to use that 1.32. So the only thing I need from you tonight is to approve the addition of line item 1.32, other compensation to personal services.
In addition to the payout itself.
In addition
It's
to.
a line item for the budget, right?
It's a line item for the budget, 1.32, other compensation,
Under personal services.
under personal services.
Make a motion that we add a line item to the budget of 1.32, other compensation under personal services.
Right, and then what I'll do tomorrow is I will go ahead and take and use the rainy day fund to pay for that,
But we just have to have it in the budget.
but we have to have it in the, yes.
There was a motion. Is there a second to add that line item?
Carmen will second the motion.
Carmen will second to add that line item. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adding the line item for personal services, the rainy day fund, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then do we want to go ahead and do the,
I was just gonna say, I would kind of like to see the rewording of these things that you were saying, you still need to make some changes like with the new employee hours.
well, that's for the paid time off, right?
Right, oh, I'm sorry.
I was thinking, I didn't know if we wanted to go ahead and do the sick day version.
Oh, yes, since we're gonna, yeah.
Since we just approved the budget item to fund it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we actually got the court, but the paid time, what I've already written on my notes, by the way, was business hours, holidays tabled, possible approval PTO tabled, and I thought it looked like we were maybe going to, since we approved the budget, that we would approve the payout for
Of
the
sick
sick
time.
days.
Right, and that I just wanted to be worded as being paid July 13th. The pay schedule from July 13th.
Right, but I will specify, I mean, I could do, you guys could go ahead and approve it. Do you want, no, I don't think I need a resolution.
I don't think you need to, but we do need to clarify on the record at what rate that buyout will be, because it's already a pretty generous
Yes.
buyout. There's no reason to make it more so. So
Right.
Is that a motion then, Chris?
I was making a motion, yes,
Okay.
that would be for the sick benefit payout, that would be stipulated at the rate of July 13th. as of
Okay.
July 13th.
Sure.
For employees who are here in
Through
January.
calendar year January 1, 2022.
Okay.
Okay,
That's my motion.
And second?
Second.
And Nikki seconds, Chris makes the motion. We still have our quorum. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the proposed sick benefits payout at the rate that staff was earning prior to the approval of the new compensation schedule, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes too. And then, again, I don't know that we need motions to table, but if we can, we have tabled the business hours / holidays and the PTO. We still got several strides made today, but those are big chunks that we could look at
Right.
in August then.
right.
Okay. What
So,
else?
very quickly, we did eliminate the $10 processing fee for patrons, so we're not charging them a processing fee anymore. I don't know if you noticed the big trees missing. They took it down, the big evergreen tree over by the parking lot. Hot spots, I just want you to be aware that they're not going out like we had hoped they would. I know the staff's checking them out. Maybe I need to do a better push in marketing as far as getting those out. But just think in the back of your mind if that's something you think we should allow other library card users to check out. And I'm actually fine if they don't, but I need your guidance on that. Because I don't like that they're just sitting on the shelf, so.
And we'll pay them.
If you get a chance, stop by the computer lab. Mark repainted it. It looks wonderful. So, I mean, he's going to repaint the back hallway by the auditorium. We did have a patron injury. She did slice her baby toe on our front door. I went ahead and marked, the insurance company has been out and looked at the area, but we also added some plastic inserts that fit on the bottom. They slide up, and on the bottom, if you go out the front door, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's the inside lobby doors. They kind of have a sharp edge underneath the bottom, so.
Is that something we need to look into at all of our metal doors?
No, because we don't really have, those doors have something on them, usually in the front, like a rubber thing to keep the air out, or whatever, the weather out. And that is the only set of doors that we have that are raised up high enough, okay? We had SGS Communication come out, take care of some issues we were having, staff update about Darla, and then GCS HVAC controls, and hopefully we'll start seeing our electricity usage go down like we did in June. So, that's it. We had a lot to cover.
Okay. Chris?
Yes, I had a question about the youth services report.
All right?
The teen programming and things has been hit and miss. Is that just because of the summer and trying to get people back involved?
When the teens, so when we closed from COVID, the teen
Yeah.
numbers were great, and they were here, and we were just having a hard time getting it back.
Okay.
So we'll just see how it goes. Mary's great with teenagers, so I don't know how to answer other than COVID did really hit us, and hit us hard as far as people coming into the library.
I can back that up. All of my youth groups have like disbanded, so it's just hard to get people back.
Okay.
Anything else on the report?
Nope, that's all.
Has anybody, have we all had an opportunity to review the claims and the financials? And if you have, there's no questions.
I make a motion that we approve the claims.
It's been moved, we approve the claims as presented. Is there a second?
I second the motion, Beth.
Chris moves and Beth seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the claims as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims are approved. Any further business?
The only thing I want to pass, this review sheet.
Oh, yes, the ILF report.
And they did find wrongdoing on ILF's part, and they're working to try to resolve and do education and all kinds of things. This will explain
Thank
everything
you.
that happened. And if you have any questions, you can always talk to us.
And this saves me going online and signing up for a registration, because I tried to do that and I realized that I was not a full member, but that I'm apparently an associate member or something like that, so.
I would say if you can get down to the State Library Board meeting or the ILF meeting, it was very informative.
Really?
It was good then.
Okay, excellent.
I'm thinking that's,
If they haven't.
go ahead, Chris, I'm sorry.
No, they didn't have it.
Okay.
It was a virtual.
There's no other business, so we entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
Carmen moves to adjourn. Is there a second?
Nikki will second.
Nikki seconds. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Stand adjourned.
Okay. Gotta make sure I get all my papers.
Sign your claims before you go.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. You can turn off the
Oh, I better turn that off. huh?
video now.